Good morning, friends and family. It is Sunday morning. I'm just chilling in my unicorn onesie watching Netflix, obviously. Trying to muster up the courage to go to the gym here soon. But I just got back last night from about a month straight being gone working. And I realized it has been a fat second since I've done a vlog. And I thought I would make one today and sort of give you guys a recap of the last year because it is January. Okay, fine. I've done it. Here's one thing I never leave home for the gym without. This lacrosse ball and this pack of resistance bands. Honestly, everybody should invest in a set of resistance bands because they're one of the most useful tools in working on a lot of functional strength. Okay, so to catch everybody up on what has happened since the last vlog, it's been quite a busy month, I'd say. So I went back home to Minnesota for the Christmas holiday. It was probably about a week there, and then straight from Minnesota, I went to Phoenix for a week for work. I then came home for maybe 2 or 3 days, and then flew right back to Phoenix for a different work gig. I came home and then went straight to Dallas for a wedding that I was in. I was actually a bridesman, which was pretty cool. Kylie, if you're watching this, shout out. I love and appreciate you. Then, immediately after getting home from being in Dallas, the next day, I flew to DC for another work gig. And I just got home yesterday. So it's been a pretty crazy, busy, packed month. I don't think I've been that busy since I was touring maybe about 3 years ago. But it was good. I really like the company I work for. I really need the money. So these checks are gonna be a lifesaver when they come in. I'm very glad to be home. I have not eaten well. I have not worked out nearly as much as I want to. I'm really behind on a lot of songs and projects. So honestly, I'm just really glad to be home, be in it, get back on the grind and just get a consistent schedule and work on me. But I got home and I was thinking, holy fuck, it's been a long time since I've done a vlog. And I'm always talking about how I'm gonna get better about this and I need to do something. I was trying to figure out what to do, and it is a new year, but I've already talked about resolutions. I already made a video about that. I don't really do resolutions. I am constantly trying new things or trying to tweak what I'm doing, and I really feel like there's no better time to start something than right now. Thinking a lot about it, looking back on the last year, I think it's safe to say that 2019 was probably the hardest year of my life. And I mean that physically, mentally, emotionally, across the board. I didn't really realize I was struggling so hard until like this past month, and looking back at who I was then and how I felt and how I feel now. So I just kind of wanted to talk about that because I think there's a lot I have to say about it and a lot to share that hopefully might help somebody else out there dealing with similar things. But first, I'm gonna do a quick workout. Done. All right. was a good little sesh. So right, talking about 2019, the year from hell. But first, I kind of just want to remind you of some of the major events of the last year to sort of set the scene for what's about to happen. I'm also going to try and make food while I do this, so forgive me if this doesn't work out. So, if you remember, early 2018 was pretty awesome. I was pretty stoked on life. I started vlogging. I just moved into a new apartment I was really excited about in the artist lofts. I was gonna spend all this time making music. I was working a job that I really liked, making decent money. I was gonna get out of debt. I started a new workout routine at a new gym, and I was finally gonna conquer my back pain. I was so on a high of manifesting the life that I wanted. I was so ready to get going. And I feel like if you look back in those vlogs, it's really clear, you can really see my energy there. Then summer came. The first 3 remixes that I made ended up getting accepted out of nowhere. I was making money off music for the first time ever. One of the remixes got over 1 million plays, which was a big goal for me. I made goals to put up some of my own music the next year. I was gonna prove to everybody that I could make it on my own without my band, and that all the years spent making music weren't for nothing. I was riding this like exciting high of my luck of these songs getting released and everything happening so quick, and I had no plans of slowing down anytime soon. Then October came, and I went to Nashville for my first songwriting camp. And this was an amazing experience. I was literally spending all day making music with other people that had legitimate cuts for artists I looked up to, and they were making songs with me. Like I felt out of my league, to be honest. It was really cool. I was making music in an exciting place. My back was starting to feel better than it had in months. And I finally felt like things were starting to really come together. I came home, 2019 ended, and everything changed. Literally within a few weeks back, I hurt my back again. I couldn't walk. All the progress that I seemed to have made just seemed like it was an illusion. I spent the next few months just hunkered down in pain, working on track after track after track, submitting song and song again for remixes that was just being consistently turned down and didn't seem to be getting anywhere. See, that's the danger of being an artist or a creator, is you spend what is often a long preparation time of creating something and honing it into something you're really proud of. And then finally you release it to the world, and you're excited and you're proud and you're relieved, and then you're getting all of this positive feedback from people listening and sharing the thing you made, and it's just this amazing high. Like it's literally like this endorphin rush. But the thing is it is impossible for this to last forever. It has to end at some point. And then suddenly this high and all these chemical doses to your brain is just gone, and you're just left with this feeling of, now what? So I have this really amazing, exciting year. I'm making all this music, and then suddenly it's just over. And this was really difficult for me to process. Like, mentally, emotionally, physically with the pain. When I previously felt like I was doing really well, all these signs from the universe made it feel like I really wasn't at all. I felt incompetent, I felt untalented, I was feeling so worthless, and anytime I was feeling frustrated by music, the one thing that I wanted to do is go to the gym and lift weights and just blow off that steam. And I just couldn't do it because no matter what I tried, my back pain didn't seem to want to relinquish. Like, no joke, literally around this time, about a year ago, I remember laying on the floor of my apartment, like crying. And I don't cry often. I'm just like laying there bawling while Sadie's trying to comfort me because I've just felt so trapped. Like my pain was worse than ever. I was just struggling with music, and I felt like this was gonna be the rest of my life. Like I didn't know how to see an optimistic future in all of it. And on top of it all is a dark, cold winter in Minnesota. I really kind of struggle with the seasonal depression, so that was starting to rear its ugly head. Sadie and I were sort of struggling with our own relationship, difficulties and differences because we were living together for the first time in our whole relationship, and it was complicated by my depressed, painful mood swings. So it was just a shitstorm of so many things at once. Ow! Did you see that? Don't cook and vlog. It's a terrible idea. It's not as bad as I thought, but I don't know if you can see that. That's what I get for being a idiot. Don't play with knives. How's that look? Nom 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 nom. So for the first half of 2019, I just spent my time in what felt like a painful negative loop. I was just holed away, making songs, going to the gym, trying to fix my back, going to work, and then just doing it again each day. And it didn't seem like I was getting anywhere. Conquering my back pain seemed like a very distant future. Making music I was proud of seemed to be something that was eluding me. I just wasn't very social during this time at all. I was really trying to just break through this plateau that I seemed to be having. In addition to this, the idea of moving to Nashville that had been planted deep in my brain the year previous was really starting to come to the surface because I knew that my lease was coming to an end soon and I would have to make a decision about what I wanted to do with my life. But I couldn't decide if that was the right thing for me, considering that I was just massively struggling with trying to make music every day. So that decision seemed like maybe it wasn't the best. Maybe this plan that I had created in my head wasn't gonna be something I could manifest like I previously thought. It was a bummer. I was pretty bummed out that whole time. I wasn't very social. I didn't really do anything. I didn't really talk to that many people. It was hard. Eventually, I make the decision to move. Sadie and I have this conversation. We decide to do it, and we begin the planning stage. Unfortunately, I wasn't nearly as far along with getting rid of my debt as I wanted to be. I originally had a plan to get rid of debt first and then move, but I sort of felt like maybe a move was what I needed to sort of break me out of what was going on. I could tell I was starting to doubt myself and that I was looking for an easy, comfortable way out because it was so difficult in every other component of my life. So I decided I had to do it. I had to go. We get to Nashville, and the last half of the year was a new set of problems. I was in a new place, but I was no longer working consistently, making the money I was relying on before. My debt was starting to add up because I had no other choice but to use credit cards to pay for things, and music was starting to feel like this job I had to do because there was so much weight to make something and have it be good or good enough that I would be able to make some sort of income off it. So there was this tremendous weight, like seriously so much weight on making songs. So I was spending like every single day relentlessly working on stuff, just trying and still feeling like I'm not getting anywhere. I was so focused on trying to make this music thing happen, I started to suck a lot of the creativity and wonder and excitement out of the process that is making music. Between the pain coupled with the obligation of making music, I knew that I had to change my approach to how I was living life. It was not a recipe for success, and considering I just moved to a new city, it was no way to start it off. So I decided I had to return to the fundamentals of the things that were wrong in my life and get on top of that first. It pretty much came down to two things. It was my issues with money and being in debt that caused this looming weight of obligation to make music, and my back pain, which would radically change my personality if it was a day I was in pain. And these two things were constantly getting in the way of me being happy, essentially. I knew that if I could figure these things out, I could return to making music like I did before, as in something I enjoyed to do, and success would follow just the joy that comes with things you make. So for the last part of 2019, I changed my attention to working as much as I could, taking a little step back from music and not forcing it so much, and learning how to go out and live life like I used to, I guess. Like without music being this thing I had to overcome to prove. So that's what I've been doing for the last few months. The biggest things I've learned so far in trying to overcome these issues of my life is that there's no shortcut. These are things that take time and attention, and over time they will get better. Looking back, the amount of things I learned through going through last year is priceless. I will look back and say that was one of the most formative years of my life, despite being the hardest year of my life. And that leads us to this year. Having just come off a full month of work, I feel more on top of my finances than I have ever been before. I have been relentless at the gym, working on reteaching my body how to move, and I can tell there is a drastic change in my pain. Daily, I have had the least amount of pain I have had in years, which is crazy to me. And this new approach to making music has actually re-inspired me to make more and try different things and come at it with a new energy than I've had in a long time. That's all I've got. I hope that this wasn't too much rambling for you guys. It's hard out here sometimes, and that's okay. It just takes time. There's no shortcuts in life. It's all about putting in the time and putting in the work to trying to be the best you can be every day. And sometimes it's just harder than others. It might seem terrible right now. You might be laying on the floor crying, but a lot can change. You're gonna get where you need to go. So just hang in there, all right?